Hello everyone. Hello everyone. Oh shit. Hello everyone. Oh shit. I thought I heard double. They're fixed. No freaking echoes. Thank you very much. Okay. I finished sending out some links, and I am ready to go. I started the game just to check things out before starting the stream, and I was met with the narrator. And there are what's it called? Voice acting, and I did not expect that. Let's see. I am ready to go, so let's get into this. Oh, okay. That was one line so far. I played the beginning of this in the actual pre-alpha game a little while back. This feels like it has changed a little bit, but I don't really remember that well from back then. But it feels like it has changed, especially because of the voice acting. That you did not heard. That happened before I started the stream.
The glowing mote of light blinks more brightly with your approach. As you reach to touch it, it inscribes strange glyphs into the air. Some unknown language.
Very unknown.
Embrace the light?
Athenium access.
The light begins to surge, growing brighter and brighter until all you can see is light. And then, gone. A moment later, it blinks a light by your side, bound to you.
Yeah, so this so-called quill will follow me around wherever I go from now on. As far as I know, there's no real game mechanic. What's it called? It doesn't really have a game mechanic itself, but it's bound to us through the lore, basically. I'm gonna talk to these guys and then see if I gain access to Athenium soon. The Athenium is basically the hub for all the players.
Maybe this is the one, Nip.
They have voice acting now.
Ben, the poor soul is a needless. You know as well as I that they are unable to speak or to bite.
Okay, yeah, so the voice lines are the same as when I played before, I think. But there were no voice acting before, and I love this. And I love these two characters.
But they found a new quill. Author knows they don't like those needless very much, so something has to be going on.
That makes no sense. These stories have been fading long before more quills started showing up. Best leave the needless to fall right back into the sea where they came.
Aw, why don't we at least let them choose their aspect and forms first? It'd be a shame to not even see what they choose to be.
Okay, quick run through. The Magma Miner is well, okay. These are the classes: the Magma Miner, the Moss Clerk, and the Weaver. The Magma Miner is a very in-your-face kind of character. You bonk enemies with your hammer. You jump into the air, smack down the ground, and you smash. Basically, you hit stuff very hard. Um, the Moss Cloak is a little bit of a ranged character. You throw your shuriken. I think it should be called. I think it's called a shuriken. Yeah, shuriken. Oh, you gain shuriken, but you throw the big shuriken. Basically, you throw the shuriken around at enemies. You can dash, and you throw lots of shurikens at enemies. As you go, as you play, you gain more skills, or as they're called, bindings, up to 2 extra from on top of the 3 starting ones. Both the Magma Miner and the Moss Cloak use physical bindings, which typically deal physical damage, whereas Weaver, which is a little bit more complicated, it uses magical bindings, except for one. I think, yeah, this is a physical one, whereas the other ones are magical. And the physical deals physical damage, and the other ones deal magical damage. Although the other ones deal physical, they can do magical stuff too, if you find the bindings or the items for it. Weaver has so far been my favorite, but there are lots of people who love Magma Miner and lots of people who love Moss Cloak. I'm not much of a physical character type of person, especially for those who have followed me so far. You know that I'm not really a bonk, heavy blow kind of player. But I do enjoy Magma Miner. I feel like they have been able to make that kind of character be fun too. Weaver is the one that's most difficult to explain, but you kind of throw threads at people and kind of bind them to you, and then you use your abilities on enemies that you have bound with your threads. It's a little bit more complicated to explain than what the other ones would be, but I'm gonna play it anyways, so it will be very well, obvious what's happening as we play through. Presets. I love taking my time building characters, so let's just jump into it. I don't know about the Goku hat, to be honest. Maybe. What kind of hair should we get? I like this one. Accent color. Oh, as if we have things in the hair, right. Usually when I see accent color, usually when I pick hair styles, I always choose the ones without accessories. And then I'm like looking at the hair color, and then I'm looking at the accent colors, and I will always be like, nothing's happening to the hair. Derp. Face paint. There are more face paints than I remembered. So that's cool. Huh? Oh. Ah. What do we want to do here? Something like that, maybe? Yeah, sure. Normal battle. Okay, so as we are playing through the game or doing runs, as you do in roguelikes, you come upon these things, which has, as you saw before I clicked on it, the hovering things. Those are options. You always have between 1 and 3 options to choose from. I will get into it more later when I can actually hover above a couple of those, but this time it said battle, and I clicked it and a path opened. I couldn't run here before. And now I am supposed to start a battle, and we have the icon for it in the middle, and we have the battle, the ring, so to say. Now we have 2 opponents. They will deal. It's pretty loud right now. I can't really hear myself talking. Just gonna do it loud. Yeah, so the game is pre-alpha still, so don't expect the menus to be flashy. It's not the priority so far. The priority is to make sure that the game is playable and enjoyable, which it is so far. Okay, so we have 2 enemies. When you hover over them, you can see their health bar, you can see a cross swords and a 2, and you see a red circle. That means that they will deal 2 damage to anything within their circle, and they have 70 health each. Whenever I hold Alt, I can see both circles. So whenever I down in the left we have my HP bar, which is at 40, and we have my will, which is action economy, basically. So I have 4 things I can do right now. Whenever I walk, I use will. So you see the little square thingy, that is where I started. If I go back to it, I go back to 4. If I go away from it, I go down to 3. If I go even further, I go down to 2. So from the circle to the little arrow here, that is how far I can go. What is this? It is a game I am playtesting. It's called Inkbound. It's very fun. And if I go even further, there will appear another arrow, which used up another will. If I go back, I gain that will back, and so on and so forth. It is a turn-based game, so I can run around and choose how I want to do my turn, however much I want to. How you know it's fun is to watch me play it, and then you can play it, I think tomorrow maybe, on Steam. It will be up for anyone to play, because they want to try out the technical stuff and the servers and whatnot. You might be able to play with me. Okay, so my abilities are down here. My one is called Thread. I deal 15 damage to stuff, and as I said, it says inflict threaded. It basically threads people to me. The second ability is Constrict. It deals 35 physical damage to each threaded enemy. The first one is magical damage. So I can't really use Constrict without any threaded enemies, and the way I thread enemies is using one. The third one is Stitch. Deal 25 magical damage to a threaded enemy. And I also deal 15 extra magical damage for each thread that is attached to me. So if I go down here, you can see my number 1 creates an arrow, and I can shoot. Now he is threaded to me, and whenever I use my second ability, I will deal 35 damage to him. And I can select him for a target with my Stitch ability, which I won't yet because I have another enemy I want to Stitch, and now I have 2 threaded enemies, and they will stay threaded throughout the combat. I will now use my second ability to deal damage to them. And now I have 1 will left. I could use my 1. I could run away from their circle of, what should I call it, of threat, I guess? Now they won't deal any damage to me. I could also pick up this little orb on the ground. When over here, I can't reach it, but when I stand over here, it lights up and I can grab it. All these orbs, they spawn 1 for each player. You can be up to 4 players in a run. Gain 1 will, and it reduces cooldown of all your abilities each time you grab an orb. So we see I have a 2 cooldown on Constrict, and I have 1 will. So I pick this up. I have 1 cooldown left on Constrict, and I have 2 will. And I should be able to kill these now with my 2 will. I use 1 on this guy, and I use 1 on this guy. And the combat is over. My reward for this particular combat was restore 10 HP, but I didn't take any damage anyways. And here these guys are again.
You! Needless! Looks like you're not dead yet, so that's a good sign. And the form you chose? It's wonderful.
Yes, and you've bound a quill. Quite unusual. It seems the ink has plans for you.
Oh, yes it does. You've already performed bindings and everything. Quite the spectacle it was.
Yes, a needless and a binder. Well, the Guardian of the Void ahead will not be as kind. Should you defeat it, perhaps you and your quill truly are fated for something grander than the sea.
Or not.
You will see how it's turn-based. Now I'm probably gonna fight a boss, Guardian of the Void. Face this last guardian and find an exit from the Sea of Ink. Yeah, it has 300 health, and it has 4 small little minions. Okay, so I will use my one ability to hit these two guys, and I will use it again to try and hit, yeah, these guys, and again for this little guy. Now I have one wheel left, and all of them have their own little circles of threats, and I will run out of them. I won't pick up the orb this turn though, because it will stay. I think it is for 1 extra turn. The orbs stay on the ground. Now I will end my turn. They will attack, and then they will move, and then my turn starts again. I was about to answer the question, but Mumsy was like super quick. As you see, they start swarming me. I am outside of his range, though I don't know why it didn't move, but I don't complain. So they have 25 health left, these guys, and I deal 45 damage to each threatened enemy. Why for? Wait. Oh yeah, right. Yeah, I'm gonna kill him. Just gonna explain first. All of the classes have their own passives. With Weaver, I have a passive that says blah blah blah. If I have threaded all the enemies in the combat, I gain a buff called Control Weaving, and Control Weaving gives me +3 ability power and +1 will per turn. So you will notice that I usually had 4 will at the start of my turn, but now I have 5. If I click the Z button, I will open specific details, and we will see how much and we will notice that I have 3 ability power right now. All ability power increases my damage. That's basically what it does. And that's why it's now 45 damage instead of 35. So if I click 2, all of these guys die. I will also use Stitch on this guy to deal what will be 25. Yeah, 25 damage. I did this in the wrong order though, because I would have dealt more damage to him if the other guys were alive, because Stitch deals more damage depending on how many threads I have out, and they are dead, so the threads are gone. Now I can pick up 2 orbs to get my cooldowns back to where they were. And I will do Stitch again, and I will continue 1, and I end my turn. He misses me, and he will probably walk closer to me. Nope. He stays right where he is. I guess I'll just attack him from a distance. Anticlimactic, to be honest. But
Well, it seems you're a binder of some strength. Though, you will continue to find these anomalies spread throughout our worlds.
They're taking all the ink away from us! Bad little unraveled, if you ask me!
And threatening our stories, our very existence.
But enough from us! Time for you to jump back up to the Athenium and get out of this dank old place!
I love these guys.
The Athenium is no place for us, but this will not be our last encounter. The ink is not yet finished with you, Needless. Your form is young and still without purpose. But trust in your quill, and you may just find it.
So you can play up to 4 players, and as you notice, there's the turns. It's me and the enemies. Me and the enemies. When you play with a party, all the party members can do their thing at the same time, basically. So all the players share the same turn. So you can kind of destroy, accidentally be in the way of each other as you are playing through your turns. So communication is key. And then when all the players have clicked end your turn, the enemies make their turn. And it's back to the players. So now we are going to the Athenium, which is, as I said before, the hub.
You appear inside a cavernous hall, packed with emptiness, but full of stories. A massive clock of books and gears looms above the expanse, tick, tick, ticking away.
I kind of like the narrator, to be honest. It's a soothing voice.
From the countless black depths, damp breezes moan to life and stir the pages strewn about the rubble. Your quill urges you deeper into the cavernous space.
Onion burger. Wow. Yeah, this dude, the gatekeeper, he's the grumpiest character in the whole game, as far as I know.
Arthur be damned, another one.
So I'm turning in
Needless just traipse in here, still damp from the sea from which you crawled. I thought that surely the Inkbound had created you with more sense than that. Yet you all continue to surprise me.
Okay, I gotta. As I said, I have not heard any voice acting whatsoever so far, and I gotta say the voice acting for the gatekeeper is spot on.
Well, you're in the Athenium now, Needless. And no binder worth their words is going to give you unfettered access to our stories without a proper proving. A short dive into the inkwell should give us a good idea of you. And at the very least, knock a little sense into that empty head.
Rude. So, this is the quest. He wants me to do my first run, basically, the inkwell dive, as they call it. The reward will be a ledger, allows you to record and track quests from the binders of the Athenium, basically my quests book.
Try not to drown too quickly.
There's a lot of chatting going on. Oh, someone to talk to. Or listen. Hello, Navi.
The source of the ticking. A giant wheel of books and gears which all paths lead to. The heart of the Athenium.
Don't you touch that bindery, Needless, or your next dive into the inkwell will be your last. If even one book shifts out of place, the worlds to which you travel might collapse entirely.
Not a heart, then. A brain.
Wonderful. So this is the hub. Oh, I haven't seen this before. Ah, I have seen this before, but it's more elaborate now. Character customization, so we're back here in that case. I am quite happy with my character.
The shelves are lined with books of all sizes and materials. Gilded leather tomes stamped with dry facts of history. Feathery parchments filled with flowery script. Poetry ready to evaporate with a stiff breath. But all of them share the same sickness. Their pages are fading. the words within them becoming shadows of a memory of a story.
Oops. I have this tendency of clicking clicking on stuff when I just want to run. Oh, no voice lines. You peer down the well, but only find an open darkness swallowed by an endless deep. If you strain to listen, you believe you can hear the faint rumble of rushing liquid. And my quill starts to talk in a language I don't understand. Yeah, so this is where we start our run, so I'm just gonna click it. And wait for it to load, and the run will start. And this is the lost dude, the scribe.
Another needless. Always a welcome sight to see another one of you running around our worlds. You are the ones doing the hard work after all. Oh, the Inkbound is trying, I'm sure. But you are really the heart of the Athenium these days. Saving the worlds we wrote and everything. Oh, me? Well, you can call me the scribe. But honestly, it's best you keep our meeting between us. Not that you could tell anyone even if you wanted to. Sorry.
The sea of ink laps against the straight-edged blocks you walk along. You're back again. But it's not quite the same sea, is it? You can make out the edges of stories just beyond the horizon. No, there's intent and form here. Yeah, so whenever you start and you run, the scribe will be standing here. Sometimes he wants to talk to you, sometimes he doesn't care for you. And you start with choosing quests. And also the boss. In this case, with the technical one, you have Argoloth. And the quests you can choose between varies between runs, but in this case you can choose add hex to units, which is a debuff. The debuff increases damage taken from magic, or deal physical damage, or reduce will cost of abilities. The quests will want you to do these things in a specific amount, and then when you finish it, you will get an item from it. I don't have a way of putting hex on enemies currently. I don't have any means of reducing the will cost of abilities currently. I can, oops, did not click that. I can deal physical damage, which is through constrict. I guess we will try and do 6500 damage, physical damage now. I'm using a what's it called, a pad, which is why my ring finger accidentally tapped it as I was hovering. But the physical damage quest will do. So as you start your run, or after you have chosen your quest, you will you will find these pillars giving you a draft. So you will draft between 3 different bindings. You can choose to leave, you can choose to reroll, but we don't have the currency right now to reroll. We can choose either the physical ability cleave. We need to stay very close to enemies. It will deal 50 damage and inflict bleed. Bleed gains 1 stack for each point of physical damage the unit has taken. At the end of the turn, deal 1 physical damage per stack and stacks. So Okay, so basically you give enemies bleed, and when they have bleed, they increase their amount of bleed each time you deal physical damage to them, and then they take 1 physical damage per stack at the end of the turn, and all stacks disappear. If I remember correctly, bleed damage does scale with your physical damage. So if you have anything that gives you more physical damage, bleed damage should be affected as well. Then we have Chain Lightning, which deals 25 damage to a single enemy, and it spreads to nearby enemies, and inflicts the debuff Shocked to the enemies. So when a shocked unit is hit, all other shocked units take equal amount of damage, and then you remove 1 shocked stack from them. So you can basically give shocked to a bunch of enemies, and then you hit one enemy with a very, very big attack, and then that attack will be spread out, not spread out, but will be dealt equally to all of the other enemies as well. Or I can choose Blink, which teleports me a medium distance away. I usually like Blink on Weaver, basically because I don't have any movement bindings with Weaver, so all I can do is run around. Blink gives me an option to actually use a binding to actually go somewhere, or go somewhere to dodge things or whatever. And upgrading the Blink, we can upgrade your bindings, can give some nice what's it called, some nice buffs. The game currently wants me to deal physical damage. I could do that with Cleave, but Cleave doesn't really do well together with Weaver, I feel like. I want to have a distance between me and the enemies, so I will leave. I will get a chance of dropping other bindings later. Yeah. And if I don't choose a binding here, as I said, you can improve the bindings you have through other drafts. And if I don't choose one of these, there's a higher chance that whenever I do get to upgrade a binding later on, it's one of the 3 I start with. Okay, so after you have done all these things, you get to the books, and the books here are paths you can go. This is basically what should I call it? You click on either one of these, and you will go to a new area, and in that area is where you will fight different kinds of enemies, different kinds of bosses, and such. So the areas we have are Proving Grounds, the Vengewood, and the Radiant Markets. I kind of like Radiant Markets, so let's go there. So this is the Radiant Market. Yeah, so I think he's gonna tell me. A once vibrant market serving binders throughout the ages, now reduced to rubble and ruin. The feats of the Athenium are plain to see, grand in design but vain constructs. Okay. So you find barrels and stuff that you can click on, and it gives you quillings, which is basically money. So we have me in the top left, we have 1, which is basically levels. So I'm at level 1. my name, and you can see the health bar and the will bar. And we have the quillings. I have 14 quillings as of now. So I have two choices to choose from right now. Both of them are ordinary battles. The rewards are either a tarnished vault, which is basically dispenses of items. I don't remember what. Vestige, yeah. So I've called them items so far, but they are actually called vestiges. They give you buffs, debuffs, whatever. So the Tarnished Vault gives you a common vestige, and a potion cache gives you a potion. The other choice gives you a Tarnished Vault, which also gives you a vestige, but also a Quilling Cage, which gives you lots of quillings. And typically, at the start of the run, I tend to choose the Quilling Cage. And I have a tendency not to choose potion caches because I'm the kind of player who kind of don't use potions and stuff like that when I play games. Generally, I'm like, it's a thing I do where I never really use what are they called? I don't remember what it's called, but consumables. Yeah, I'm the kind of person who tends to not use consumables whatsoever when I play games, and I'm the same here. And I know that since I don't use consumables, whenever I do get consumables, they will basically just stand in the inventory, so I typically don't choose potion cache. Even though the potions are very useful, I don't use them very much. If I know I will get a consumable or something similar in a battle, and I have a maximum amount, which is 2, then I will use one just to get rid of it. It's not optimal, but hey, I'm like that in every game I play, basically. So the enemies are different in this area. We have, well, these guys are the same, but we have these pots. They stay in the combat for two rounds, or two rounds, 2 turns, 2 rounds. And when you deal damage to them, they start what's it called? Quillings will fly out of them. And if I manage to kill it before round 3, I will get a lot of quillings. So we're gonna deal damage to it. But to optimize our damage to it, we want to spread our thread amongst all the enemies. See if I can figure out an optimal play here. I think if I do this and this, oh right, this, and get out of the zones of attack. Now I have all the enemies threaded, so Stitch will deal a lot of damage to this now. Yeah. Unfortunately, I played this wrong. If I would have left the orb on the ground this turn, I would have had 2 orbs this turn. So I would have started with Stitch on the pot, picked up both the orbs, and gotten Stitch out of cooldown and used it again. However, I can't anymore, so we'll just use Constrict and stab at it. Yeah. As you see, as the turns or the rounds get, as we get further into the battle, ink starts spreading from the borders. When we stand in the ink and we use abilities, we'll take damage. So we don't want to stand in it. And some enemies, like these two, they are called gunkers. They basically spread ink across the battlefield, and we don't like them. And the battle is over. It's pretty easy in the beginning, and it progressively gets harder. So we have 3 vestiges to choose from. The refractory will deal extra physical damage when I hit stuff. So whenever I use thread on something, whenever I use constrict, whenever I use stitch, I deal 8 physical damage, which is good for the quest, I guess. Burnt on gauntlets, when you take damage from an enemy, inflict 2 stacks of burn. It also gives an additional it's an additional burn damage per stack, yeah. So I basically want to be hit. I don't. Outlawed works gives me magical power and gives me crit damage. So constrict doesn't gain anything from outlawed works, although thread and stitch does. I will choose refractory basically mostly because of the quest I'm going with. And at the end of battle we find these fonts of wisdom as well, which gives us a choice of upgrade. So we have the crit one that gives +2 crit chance, +1 physical power and +1 magical power. And I will go for the physical power because more physical damage. So we do increase our constrict so far. Now we get to other choices. We have Sea Breach. A rift in the story creates an opportunity for you to make a powerful choice. They tend to be very high risk, high reward kind of choices you can make. We have the Rune Shrine. From within the runes you sense ancient knowledge. Basically there is a font of wisdom and something else in Rune Shrine. I do like both of these, but I will choose a Sea Breach. So we have the Sea Breach, and it's Mirror of Glamours. Within the breach you see the fabled Mirror of Glamours, said to grant the viewer whatever it wants most. But this mirror has led to the happiness of few and the demise of many, for whatever you are given that you want, you are also given a gift much darker. Still, you peer into the mirror and gaze at your reflection. What is it that you desire? So I can choose to leave if I want to, but I won't. We have 4 choices. We have True Sight, which gives me Sharpshooter, which gives +10 to crit chance and -5 to ability power. This means that I get less ability power than I already have, although I have 0 ability power, and as far as I'm concerned you can't get a negative amount, so you could stay safe and choose True Sight if you want to go for crit chance. We currently have 0 crit chance, so I don't see that being being much of a priority right now. It is 10%, but it's just 10%. And that means that we stay at 0 ability power during combat because it will say -5, which will counteract our passive, which gives us +3 ability power whenever we have controlled weaving. It's not very optimal, I feel like, for me. We have the One-Hit Wonder, which gives us +75% crit damage, but -10 crit chance. This could be good if we had a way of proccing automatic crits, which we don't. Simple Life we get +3 ability power, but -10 crit chance. We don't have any crit chance anyways, so this is probably what I'm gonna go for. We have immortality, which gives us 5 shielding. So basically, when you have shielding, you get shield at the start of every turn. In this case, 5. Shield is basically temporary health, so it stays with you during the turn and then it disappears. So we get 5. We basically get 5 extra health every turn, and when the enemies deal damage to us, they deal damage to the shield before our health. So 5 shielding is very good actually, although we get -25 health because of it. I don't think it's -25 maximum, I think we just take 25 damage. I'm not sure, it might be permanent. But I will choose Simple Life for that steady swings. So we have 3 ability power right now, and whenever we have control weaving, we have 6 ability power. And every ability power gives a +10% to all damage sources. So right now we have 30%, a 30% increase to all damage. And when we have the buff, we have 60% extra damage to all sources, which means all of our abilities. And we have the physical power, which we have 1 at, and this does the same, but for physical abilities. So in this case, it's 10% extra damage for all physical sources, which is basically constrict. And since ability power increases damage to all sources and physical power for physical ones, we have 40% extra damage to constrict. And we have 30% extra for stitch and thread. And there's nothing else here right now. So we have 2 choices, and I will go for the Quilling Cage again. For more money. And here's a consumable. The Vengeful Infusion. So I left click it and I gain 15 shield. Notice that it doesn't say shielding, so it gives me 15 shield for this turn and 5 spiked. Spiked. Whenever I take damage, I deal 10 damage back per stack, and then I remove half stacks at the start of the turn. I don't know if it's rounded up or rounded down though. But it basically gives me 15 shield, and as soon as something hits me, they take 50 damage. And then at the start of my next turn, from when I used it, I will have either 2 or 3 spiked left. I would presume it's rounded up. Yeah, so I will have 5 spiked, 2 spiked, 1 spiked, no spiked. Because if it was rounded down, I would indefinitely have 1 spiked. So yeah, rounded up, obviously. And here we have these bouncy little guys. They will jump in the air, land, stuff. Kind of annoying. They have Rage. When they lose more than 50% of its life, it becomes enraged, meaning it will deal 100% extra damage. I will focus on getting controlled weaving. So now I have 6 ability power, which means 70% extra damage to constrict. Which is a lot. I will leave their little circles, and I will end my turn saving the ability, the power already. Pick it up and all the enemies are gone, although the battle is not over because we have 4 enemies here warping in currently. And I can spend the rest of my turn just running wherever I want to be positioned. And I feel like I want to be positioned somewhere around here, because they will spawn, they will walk, and then they will ready themselves to, well, for their next turn's attack. I do want to be kind of close to the power orb, but I also want to be kind of close to them to use my ability on them. So I will be somewhere around here. Okay, so these guys have phased right now, which means they dodge the first attack, and they have phasing at the start of the turn. Yeah, so they will phase each and every turn. They still do get the debuffs, so they do get threaded, but they don't take any damage. And then the phasing is gone. And this guy's done for. These guys are done for. Training weights, +2 physical power and +2 crit chance. We don't care for crit chance currently because we have -6, so trying to get that up is kind of difficult. Ink needle compass, crit chance and crit damage, no. And we have the burn gauntlets again. I will take the training weights. I could reroll with 25 quillings, but we don't know what we get. And 2 physical power is pretty nice if we go for physical damage anyways. Font of Wisdom. Yeah, as you can see, this one is green, so it is uncommon, I think. +25 crit damage, very good, but not without any ability of critting. More physical power, please. Another set of choices, the study, the overflowing study of the chronicler and his quill Liz. So, in all of these worlds, there is a unique NPC with their own well, character, I suppose. All of them have vestiges, I think. The other one is the Carver's Refuge, which is basically a merchant. I can heal and I can spend quillings. I will go to the study for now. I want to gain more quillings so that I can hit a merchant later on. And I want to show off the chronicler. Liz, hurry up and look presentable. Another one of the silent wonders is here. Oh yes, you too, bright one. It's always an honor to meet a sliver of creation. And what an honor it must be for you to finally meet the genius, the legendary, the once-in-a-lifetime intellect, the chronicler, and his quill companion Liz. Nothing. Quickest counselor of the Third Age, fabled author of 1,000 tomes. Honestly, what do they teach you up there anymore? Well, should Epiphany strike you with divine knowledge of my identity, I will be here waiting. Yeah. So, I think they have one vestige for every what's it called? For every world you have entered so far, and we're in the first world, so we have 1 vault. Bond enhancement. When you pick up an orb, produce a random magic bindings cooldown by 2 once per turn, so it's basically Stitch. Whenever I pick up a Stitch, it goes down to 0. Whenever I pick up an orb, Stitch's cooldown goes down to 0. Steady Turtles. We get 1 shielding, and we get 1 extra will every 3 turns. Or the counter resistance, which is I gain +10 dodge chance, and whenever I dodge, I gain precise, Precise means that I get plus 100% crit damage per stack for the next critical hit. I will not crit anything. I will actually re-roll this one because I don't really want any of these for this character currently. We're back to steady territories. Silence Metronome. Plus 1 ability power is pretty neat. And it deals 39 magic damage to a random enemy each turn. That is pretty nice, especially since I will be running around with 4 ability power, and when everything is stitched I will run around with 7 ability power, and this one is increased by the ability power and the magic power. Battle, Tarnished Vault and Quelling Cage, or a hard battle, which gives me an uncommon augment or a potion cache. As I said, I don't generally like using consumables. However, I do prefer running the hard battles, and uncommon augment means I will get to upgrade one of my bindings. So I will go for the hard battle. So we have 2 pots here. Let's see. Both of you. I will take some damage just to stitch this guy. Okay, so I will stitch here and you're dead. I will pick up both of these to stitch here and you're dead. So the other effect that Stitch has is that it pulls all threaded enemies towards it. And now these guys are over here. Pretty neat. Might be a bit confusing for some people when you are playing together. Like you're about to bonk something and the Weaver just pulls them away. These guys are dead. So 4 more are coming in from this side and 1 more is coming in from that side. I will stay somewhere in the middle. Now standing in a lot of ink. I will run over here. No. I will pick up the power. Yeah. I will stitch you guys. I will stitch you. Thread, I mean. And then stitch you. There we go. I will take 1 damage. That's fine. And we have another pot. Pot of gold. This guy's already threaded, so I don't really have to think about threading him, but I do have to think about threading these 3. There we go. All threaded. And you're threaded. And stitch. So I could use Constrict, however these guys will dodge the first attack, so they will dodge Constrict. So I'll go here, I will thread them, and then I will Constrict. And the combat is over. I didn't get that many Quillings for those pots, I think. Oh, nice. They didn't have a... what's it called? They didn't have a thing for the potion cache before, but now they do. Pretty nice. They constantly upgrade the game. They constantly patch the game, so it's pretty nice. You can see that the game is progressing in its development constantly. It's very nice. So what's our potion? Bloodthirst Blend. I never used this one ever. So I drink it and I gain 5 HP whenever I'm hit until the end of the turn. So what is my augment? Seamless Stitch, reduce cooldown by 1. Titan Constriction, plus 35 damage to targeted enemies. Lengthy spread, further range and wider area. I will choose Titan Constriction because we do want that physical damage. We have only gone up 1,600 out of 6,500, so we want more physical damage. And as I said, more physical damage. So, here we have Treasure Trove. Gain quillings and the opportunity to use keys for high quality vestiges. So, if we choose the Treasure Trove, there will be two chests that are locked and you need a key to open them. We don't have any keys right now, so Treasure Trove is not really worth it currently. We have the Carver's Refuge again, and we have the Binding Empowerment. Gain a free binding upgrade and the capability to ascend another. So we get a free upgrade to one of our bindings, which is very nice, and we have the capability of to ascend another. Ascend is a unique upgrade for a binding, which gives it some changes to how it works. You usually want them. However, that option costs 400 quillings. We have 294. And we are getting towards the end of this area, so I don't know if I will be able to get enough quillings to buy that, but I will take a chance. And if I'm lucky, I will be able to afford it before we move on to the next area. Inflict Hex. So Hex is plus 50% magic damage until the end of turn. Damage taken, that is. I don't really care for having Hex on Constrict, to be honest. Lengthy Thread is very nice. Discounted Stitch is very nice as well. Makes it cost 1 less. And yeah, that is very nice to have. Yeah, I will go for that one. And this is the boss. It gives me a rare augment, so a rare upgrade, and it takes me, allows me to get out of this area, and will give me a font of wisdom. Those permanent small upgrades. And this is the Captor. The Captor takes less damage depending on how many enemies there are in the combat. So we will want to take care of these small guys first. Now these guys are gone, so we will thread and stitch. And then turn. So we will stitch. And then more enemies up here because we got we passed the stone threshold. Sneaky. I didn't see them out of it first. dead. Okay, so now we have 400 quilling, so we can afford to buy the other one. Tether deals 4-9 damage and inflicts threaded passive. So it gives me a passive. If you have one attached thread, you gain +7 ability power. Each additional thread reduces this bonus by 1 ability power. Okay. The other one, Weave. Deal 28 damage in an area at a distance, inflict threaded. Oh, so this is also single target. Okay, I see. Passive control weaving grants an additional +5 ability power. That is very nice, actually. I will come back to you. Rare opened. Cross stitch, +20 damage for each thread attached to you. Very nice. Another one of those +35 damage to threaded enemies, +10 damage for each thread attached to you. Also to number 1. Nice. We will go down here again and see what we can get. Entwine. Deal 492 damage split evenly between all of your threaded units. There's a lot more than I have right now, although it splits. So if I have lots of enemies attached to me, I deal a lot of damage spread out to all of them. If I have one enemy, I deal almost 500 damage. Rope Burn, deal 93 damage, inflict 7 stacks of burn to threaded units. So each stack of burn deals 10 magic damage. And I remove 1 stack at the start of the turn. Burn is pretty nice. And it will be inflicted on all the enemies that are stitched to me. Although it will be magical damage. I think I will go for Entwine actually. +2 physical power or +1 ability. Yeah, +2 physical power. Thank you. Both are useful because the ability power is generally better for Weaver because I have both. But since I want to do more and more physical damage, then 2 physical power is pretty nice. And now it's 550 damage too. So yeah. And I will go for Weave. And I will go for Titan Constriction. Okay. I will have Titan Constriction, so nothing happened, I suppose. Oh well. We try and learn. The Sea of Ink. Here I can restore 10 HP for free. I can fish for fish. So the fishes are different from potions. They are consumables as well, although you consume them to gain a temporarily permanent buff for the next combat specifically. So I can switch these out, I can keep the fish and I can pick this one up. And I will have that buff for the next battle. Binding Draft. So the first one allows me to heal myself or another player. Poison Vapor, I deal poison damage to enemies around me. Or specifically I inflict 10 stacks of poison to enemies around me, and poison deals 5 damage per stack. And then half their stacks. Pilfer allows me to steal quillings from an enemy. The biggest problem with Pilfer is that it has a very limited range. I will pick up Restoration, generally because it has some nice upgrades. So we have a new set of choices for our next area. We have the Primitive Grounds again, the Vengewood again, and we have the Garden's Edge again for the first time. I will go for the Vengewood. A putrid place of rot and decay was a lush respite from the business of the Athenium that's since been reduced to waste. If any story should serve as a herald of things to come from this blight, this Vengewood is surely it. Another potion. Gain ability power until the end of turn. That's pretty nice. Superior Vault Potion Cage. Superior Vault Quilly Gauge. Yeah, so the enemies are different. The pots are still here though. So we will thread you guys. And I will thread you. Then I will not get out of range. Yeah, I will get out of range. Good. And I will stitch and constrict. Nice. And I will end my turn. Stitch, stitch. Wow. Thread, stitch. Then construct. Okay, so I finally completed my quest that needed me to deal physical damage. I finally did, what was it, 6,500? So I get a legendary vestige. And it is a Loom of the Lost Artisan. If all enemies on the battlefield are threaded, you gain +2 will per turn and plus 100% damage. That is awesome. And we get a superior abilities. All of these are uncommon, I think. Fleas of Gold. Once per turn, gain an additional 2 shield the first time you gain shield. Okay, so whenever I get shield for the first time, I gain 2 extra. I don't really get any shield, except for if I would drink this potion. Bond Enhancer, still not... Well, it's a little bit more interesting now, because Restoration has 8 turn cooldown. So it goes down by 2 for every orb I pick up, unless Stitch is affected. And Thantalope's Tufts, +5 crit chance whenever crit reduces cooldown or around binding. Yeah, I know. Swift Hair, when you use a binding, you have a 25% chance to reduce the cooldown of a random binding by 1. That is actually pretty nice because I tend to use Weave a lot, and these guys do have kind of a low cooldown. So I can alternate and reduce the other cooldowns. Frozen Heart, +2 frostbite damage, and when I'm hit... Oh no, when I'm hit, I inflict 2 stacks of frostbite on the one attacking me. So frostbite, the frostbite is another stackable debuff. It basically says whenever the unit is hit by a binding, any binding, it takes 10 damage, magic damage per stack of frostbite. And the frostbite removes half stacks per turn. And Thantalope is back. I will choose Swift Hair because of the well, because of me being able to reduce cooldowns. Yes, I have. Thanks for noticing. None of these are especially interesting, but I will choose the maximum HP, most because, well, I don't really benefit from any of the others. I have been playing this game for a while, just so you know. I'm a playtester, so I have been playing this game for over a month, I think. But I haven't been allowed to stream it before, until now. And it is a very fun game. I do recommend it. Yeah, Binding of Paladins. And I can't afford this, so I will do it. We can play after work. I have been planning on streaming after work anyways. All right, you have to go to sleep. Go to sleep. But you should be able to request being able to play it tomorrow at a specific time. The game isn't really available to the public just yet. It will become available somewhere tomorrow, and then will be available throughout the weekend. To have Greater Restoration costs 1 more to heal an ally or myself 10 HP, or Regeneration costs 1 less to heal 1 ally 1 HP, grant an ally a stack of Regeneration, which heals 1 HP at the start of every turn, up to 5 stacks removed at the end of combat per stack. A stack on that start of every turn. Okay, so it heals 10 HP spread out across 5 turns. Well, it does cost less, so sure, I guess. Oh, yeah. See something. Okay. Well, good night to you. See you tomorrow at work, and let's see if you're able to play on Saturday. I will be able to play the whole day. Choose cooldown by 1. I mean, that would be pretty nice with Swift Hair, to be honest. Yeah, sure. Let's go with that one. Bye bye, good night. Hard battle, another upgrade, another potion. Oh, another potion. Just cooldown of all bindings by 2. Can I hit both of you? No, I can't. Unfortunate. Oh well. You. And then we'll get out of your reach. Poof. And we'll cast Stitch. Constrict. Both died, I guess. 7 will. 7 will. Let's see, 4 plus 5. Where do I get the other 2? Ah, right. 2 extra will. 7 freaking will. Wow. That's rich. I didn't think about that. Stitch. Still not using any of the potions. I was thinking about using the Mercurial Elixir to get some more regeneration, but guess I didn't need to. What potion do we get? Bloodthirst Blend? Nah. Uncommon Augment. Inflict Hex? Sure. To Shielding. Yes, please. Now I permanently have 2 shield at the start of each turn. Let's go to the Rune Shrine. I don't have any quillings left anyways. Plus 2 physical power, yes please. 2 hard battles. Superior Vault and Quilling Cage, Superior Vault and Potion Cache. Quilling Cage, thank you. I guess Swift Hair also allows it to proc itself to get rid of its own. That's interesting. Stitch, thread. Weave, I guess. Constrict. OP. Let's use regeneration on myself. Up. Level up! I am now level 2. I can't access the level thingy though. But that's okay. Superior Vault. So we have crit chance, and at the start of each turn reduce your movement binding cooldowns to 0. I don't have any because I do not choose Blink. Cloak of the Conspirator, plus a third to crit damage, gain accurate at the start of combat. Your next attack is a guaranteed crit. Remove 1 stack on hit. Yeah, that's one way of getting crits even though you don't have a crit chance. Although, I get 1 crit for every combat, not worth it. Plus 2 shielding, so I will have 4 permanent shields. When an enemy hits you while you have shielded, deal 198 physical damage. So basically the first person who will hit me takes 198 damage. Because basically if if anyone hits me at this point, they will go through 4 damage. And that is increased by my physical power and ability power. Another physical power. So 210 physical damage now. I have 14 extra physical. Was it? Yeah, 14. So 140% extra physical damage. Another shrine. Ruined shrine. Power, thank you. And the boss. Lusk blood bag. Small octopi. Well, not really, they have 4. Let's go out of their range. And let's heal myself. Poof. Ensnared. Introduced by 10 anti-venom, so that's rude. Tricked. Oh, here are some enemies. Oh, another one. Okay. Hey. Was it worth it? Yeah. Constricts. Thread. Constricts. Thread. Constricts. He died. Ascend a binding. It's gonna be Stitch this time. Splice. Target a single threaded enemy. All other threaded units are pulled towards that unit. Deal 50 damage and an additional 50 damage for each thread attached. Deal 150 damage to a threaded enemy. Nearby enemies also take damage, become threaded, and are pulled towards the target. I mean, both are pretty good. I'm gonna choose Splice. Rare Augment. Grant resistance. Take 50% less damage until the start of the next turn. That's pretty nice. Plus 15 damage for each thread attached to you. Yes. I don't like any of these. Poison. This one is a legendary. It is super good if you have a poison damage. Because this essentially means plus 6 poison damage per stack of poison. And as we said, it was 5 poison damage per stack of poison. And you generally get a couple of stacks. This would mean more than double. But we don't have any poison, so 3 maximum HP. Back to the Sea of Ink. Fishing. Crimson Quillfish. Oh, it's that one again. Binding draft. I mean, Cleave does deal a lot of damage now, so let's go for Cleave. I mean, why not? We have Privy Grounds, Garden's Edge, and Silent Promenade. Silent Promenade is kind of annoying for Weaver, honestly. There are a lot of enemies that kind of become mines when you kill them, and since I don't really have a movement binding, I have to run around a lot. It is not optimal. I will go for Privy Grounds. I have now gone to, I think I've gone to all the worlds I could have chosen between at my first choice. Superior Vault or Uncommon Augment. Both are good. There's an uncommon though. Superior Vault. I don't think I will be able to. Oh, I was able to. Although I kind of want to be hit by one of you. Let's see, 3 damage, 3 damage, 3 damage. Yeah, let's get hit by one of you. You won't be dealing any damage to me, but you will take 390 physical damage. Okay. Anticlimactic. When you take damage from an enemy, deal 225 physical damage to your attack. Sure. What is the potion of power? Oh, is this one? More physical power. Ascend. Oops. Did not mean to tap it. Oh well. We're going to the merchant. The carver. Nice job with those unraveled so far, but you ain't lived until you've fought a raven as big as a house. Though you probably have a lot more holes in you once you do, eh?
The figure looks up at you, but with their face hidden behind a mask, it's hard to tell if they're human or quill. Yet you feel their eyes bore into you just the same.
Well, you're a shiny new needless, aren't ya? Got a quill and everything. But you've got quilling to spare too. Well, buy in or be moving. This place ain't kind to idles. Oh, glass cannon. Do I want glass cannon? Yes, I want glass cannon. So it gives me plus 10 ability power, but I take double damage. Yes. And now I have a maximum amount of vestiges, so I have to exchange something. Get an additional 24 physical damage on hitting. Yeah, let's give that one. Yeah, I'm happy with that one. Let's go on. Uncommon augment, partial cash, rare augment, manifest key. I don't think I really care for the key right now because I don't. There's a very low probability that I will actually get a chest, but it's a rare augment. I don't really care for another potion at this point. As I said, I should use them more often. They will deal a lot of damage to me. Or not. I deal so much damage now with Constrict. Key. I played the key. It's the worst one of the bunch, but there are two different keys. It's the plated key and the jade key. 50 additional stacks of loot. Yeah. Magic power. Ooh, I have 2 magic power. Yeah, so now I have a key in place of a consumable. So it's Sea Breach, Ruin Shrine, or the Treasure Trove. Let's choose the Treasure Trove. And I can use the plated key for the rare vestiges. At the start of your turn, inflict shock on all enemies on the battlefield. Bounty Hunter's Pistol, +2 ability power. If you defeat an enemy with an attack more than double their max health, gain a moderate amount of killings. Counselor's Ledger, the first binding you use each turn gets 2 cost discounts. Yeah, Thunderstruck Bill is OP. For this kind of build, and I will mention exactly why. As said at the beginning of the run, Shocked is a debuff that makes all shocked enemies take as much damage as one enemy that is shocked. And the thing is that Thunderstruck Bill gives shocked on all enemies on the battlefield at the start of every turn. This means that if I have threaded all enemies on the battlefield and I start a new turn, when I use Entwine will deal 1232 damage split evenly amongst all threaded units. This amount will be increased if I have all enemies threaded because of the increase of ability power and because of constricting knots, and because I deal a double amount of damage whenever all are threaded. On top of this, at the start of the turn, everybody is shocked. So everybody will take everybody will take that damage again. What is it? When a shocked unit is hit, all other shocked units take equal amount of damage. Remove 1 stack on hits. So basically, if I have 6 enemies threaded, I will deal double the amount of 1,232 damage, split evenly amongst 6. Let's make a quick little calculation here. I'm not going to calculate all bonuses and whatnot, but 1232 times 2. So we have, because all enemies are threaded, we have 2,464 damage without any other buffs included. And this damage is spread out amongst 6 enemies, which will be 410 damage. And because all of them are shocked, whenever any of the 6 is hit, all other enemies will take that damage. And since all of them are shocked and all of them take damage, it should be 410 5 times. Because every one of them is hit by it. So all of them is hit by it every time. I think that's how it works. If not, it's just double damage. But in any case, this is what I'm going to get. So we'll get rid of Silence Metronome. It's a crazy amount of damage anyways, as a start, if that's the first ability I use at the start of turn. I will go for the rare augment and the chance, the slight chance of getting a jade key. Potion of power. So all of them are shocked, so all of them take damage, as you saw. Although all of them have varying amounts of damage. Take 4 damage from him, so no damage, takes damage. Now all of them are shocked. Before I do anything, this guy has delayed attack, so you can see where he's going to attack. It's that little, I won't call it arch, in front of him. And delayed attack has a number on it, and in this case 1. So whenever I use a binding, this number goes down 1 point, and when it hits 0, it will attack. And then it restarts. This guy has a 1, so he will use an ability every single time he uses binding. And when he is attacked, he will change facing. You will notice. I will stand here, I will use constrict. And he changes facing, and it goes back to 1 again. So I will move. I will use Stitch. Or I will use be gone. Stitch. I will pick this up and kill. All of these guys are shocked. Stitch. Splice. Jade. Plated. Rare augment. Gain resistance, plus 15 damage for each shred or touch to you. Gain 2 will when you kill an enemy once per turn. That's pretty nice actually. Font of Wisdom, physical power. From within the ruins you sense ancient knowledge. Oh. Yeah, let's go to the car. It's not far left. Let's see. At the start of your turn, inflict gaze. This unit takes plus 100% increased damage, while other units take 50% less damage. Removed at the end of the turn or death. If you're hit by an attack this turn, gain 1 will at the start of your next turn, and gives 2 shielding. Your movement bindings get full, cost discount at the start of each turn. 25 crit damage. I should be able to reroll and possibly buy the last one. Nope. Wrong calculation. Bounty Hunter's Pistol. If you defeat an enemy with attack more than double their max health, gain a more quillings. Faded Mandala. At the start of your turn, if you have 2 or less threads, thread a random units. Sure. What do we want to change out? This one, I guess. 2 physical damage or 2 ability power, same. And the boss. Swipe. How did he die? I don't even know how he died. What happened? I'm so confused right now. What happened? He just instantly died. I was out of his reach, so he didn't hit me, so he didn't take damage from these, I think. 390 each, wow. That's a lot. I don't know what happened. I'm confused. Reduced cooldown by 1, that's very nice. Let's go for that. Ascend. Sweep. Deal 624 damage. It's 260, yeah. So enemies in a large area around you inflict bleed. Hemorrhage. Deal 260 damage in a short range arc. Inflict bleeding. Inflict hemorrhage. Each stack extends bleed duration by 1 additional turn. Remove 1 stack at the end of the turn, up to 3 stacks. Okay. Let's sweep. Fishing spot, Helmet Crab. In the next battle, gain 5 shielding, lose 1 shielding each time you're struck. Yeah, sure. Nom. Binding Draft. Nothing interesting right now. Usually Jinx is so good on Weaver, but not right now. And now we have gone through 3 stages, so now we are at the end. We are going to fight Argoloth at long last. Argoloth, terror of the inky depths. It's not gonna hit me right now. Swipe. I should. Oh well. Bad decision. I'm gonna take 4 damage. Strength. Finish. Oh, 11 damage. No, thank you. And he died. Oh, bleed. Right. And victory. You defeated the Argos, Terror of the Inky Depths. Return home. Okay, so I've killed 1 villain. I get a purple cat cosmetic item. And we have gotten the electricity, a helmet. I finished a run with Weaver, and I defeated Argos. And remember, wishlist the game. You should definitely get it. There are 2 new villains, new visages and ascensions, more ranked mode ranks, and 2 new classes. I've already wishlisted it, of course. You should too. I made a run, so I've completed the quest I got from the Gatekeeper.
Do you not dry? If you're to be counted amongst our ranks, at least wipe your feet. Arthur be damned. This Athenian will drown in the filth you track in well before the sea takes us. Be grateful the Inkbound places more faith in you than do I. Since you've decided to return, you'll find a few more of us that remain here. The unraveled left us thin in numbers. We scattered after... but many have begun to return. You were made to serve, needless. So, meet the other binders of the Athenium and help them in whatever meager ways you can.
So the reward for this quest will be full binary access, unlocks unlimited access to the Inkwell, multiplayer parties, ranked mode, and quests.
Hurry then.
Meet the counselor.
Oh, well, Hello. I'm the counselor. Used to be a lot more of us. Counselors, that is. And everyone else, I guess. But just me now.
I do have to say, they have succeeded with good voice acting for the characters, because there were no voice acting for these lines before, and the voice acting for this one, it really sounds like it sounded in my head, kind of.
Well, just me now, make the rules around here. More like laws, I guess. It's a bit complicated. Mostly it just means that I record things that people do. Other people. Which reminds me, I've got a list of specific things I need done on the board behind me. Changes day to day. But if you're free and you don't mind, any help you give would be, helpful.
Stigmatist. Oh, okay. Well, it is nice to be back again so fast, even if the place is a wreck. But the sight of all you needless buzzing around does give me a bit of hope. Surprised to hear we aren't all as gruff as Grumpbeard, huh? Well, sometimes a little youth goes a long way. You can call me the Stigmatist. Craftsman of forms and aspects. If you're looking to mix up your aspect, I'm your gal. Though it looks like you've got a solid one already. Might be good for you and your aspect to get to know each other a bit more before I let you go with another one, huh? Meet the Inkbound. Not so much as meat.
You hear passing pages and manic mutters behind the door. Candlelight flickers at the bottom of the doorframe. You knock on the door and immediately the muttering stops. Then, shadows shuffle across the flickering light before it goes dark. As you turn to leave, you hear a rustling on the floor. A note with nothing but a list of tasks, none of them small.
Yeah, sorry. Spoiler alert. Return to the gatekeeper.
Ignored by the Inkbound? Well, that's no real surprise. Your presence is at least known now. That does not mean that there is any more hope for the larger threat to us all. I can tell by your vacant expression that you've no clue who this Inkbound is. Only our chosen hero, our fearless leader, and most trusted protector, our savior. While you and your quill gallivant through the worlds to achieve some temporary victory, the Inkbound toils away at a more permanent solution to these unraveled and fading stories. Regrettably, there is still work to be done. Thus, your creation. Stories that must be anchored, villains that must be thwarted. But it is with little hope that I give you this task. The garden's edge currently fades fastest. Your attention should be focused there to reclaim its ink for us.
So, with these quests, the rewards typically are unlocking various vestiges. In this case, the legendary vestige Nim's Oath. Once per turn, inflict 2 stacks of stun on hit. Basically means they can't do anything. And he mentions Garden's Edge, so he probably wants me to, in a run, go to Garden's Edge for a reason. For a reason. Gibberish.
Yes. Your quill shows more manners than you do, Needless. Perhaps you could learn a thing or two from them. You've been given full range of the bindery now, Needless, by order of the Inkbound. Do not make that decision a regrettable one.
Okay, so you saw me level up and stuff. These are things you can get as you level up. It's basically cosmetics, all of them, and emotes. You can't buy any season passes currently, but it basically unlocks the bottom row. And there will be a store as well. These things are basically when I win a run or when I am defeated in a run. Or to play emotes, basically. So you can have cat head or the helmet. It's a nice helmet, but I typically don't like helmets because helmets, I like the hair. And this is the quest log. Learning to bind. Start an unranked dive, start a ranked dive, complete a daily task. So here we have the daily tasks. Complete hard battles in the proving grounds. So I need to do it twice to complete this one. I need to deal 25,000 damage in a day. And I need to upgrade a binding 12 times. It's not upgrade one single binding 12 times, but more that you need to upgrade a binding 12 times. Building the Athenium. So he wants me to complete Garn's Edge tasks 6 times. Garn's Edge tasks. Ah, these tasks. Right. Enter the Garden's Edge. Deal 250 damage from a binding. Gain shield in a battle 10 times. Eat a fish in Garden's Edge. Defeat Inklings 7. I think it's the small funny ones. And defeat Nim the Lost. So that's the boss in Garden's Edge. So for entering Garden's Edge, I unlock Ink Flat, which basically gives +1 will whenever I pick up a will orb. This one unlocks Barbed Bones. On your first turn of combat, gain 10 stacks of spiked, and it also gives, I think that's +2 spiked damage. Misting Bells, gain 2 shield when you pick up an orb. Poison Thorn, inflict 5 stacks of poison on hit. That's a pretty good common one. If you want a poison build and you have a build where basically spam attacks, give 5 poison on each spammable hit. Controlled explosives. When you kill a unit, create a controlled explosion in a small area around them, dealing 60 magic damage. Vow Mark. Gain 5 physical power if you start combat at full health, and +2 for physical power. Completing all of these unlocks Nim's Oath. You don't really unlock anything with these daily tasks, but you get a lot of SP, which is what you need to level up. Then you have some quests for the Weaver. Just basically get all these augments for Thread, for Stitch, for Constrict, and acquire all the Ascensions. There are basically 3 Ascensions for all of the bindings. But every time you get to choose an Ascension, you get to choose between 2 out of the 3. The Needless. I suppose this is a finished quest line. Basically a tutorial quest line, I suppose. Well, we're still at a tutorial bit, I think. So you have milestones, it's basically achievements, collections, this is what we have unlocked so far, or what we haven't unlocked. Nothing here yet. Where's the logbook? Probably on runs you've been playing, I would guess. selection for notebook. Yeah, this is probably, these are the things that exist. Just guesses. See, 20 is endlessly typing. Most people in this game are also very helpful to each other, so that's very nice. So the game wants me to track west. You see these that are blinking. They have a little bit of a down pointing arrow with a little circle on top. These are trackable. Then you have these, which are not trackable. They basically just have a stamp. All of the class specific ones are untrackable as well, and the ones you've finished, well, also untrackable. So I heard something, don't know what. So the game wants me to track something, and I will track Garden's Edge, and now we have something tracked. I won't want to enter Garden's Edge first thing though. It will probably, I will try and enter Garden's Edge as the last area, specifically because dealing 250 damage from a binding is probably not possible if it's the first area. Same with getting 10 shields in one battle. I need something that actually gives me shields. Eating a fish, I can't guarantee I will find a fish in Garden's Edge, so I will want a fish beforehand, which I get in between all areas. Defeat Inklings, easy. And defeat the boss, easy. Well, I feel like this is enough for today. I'm actually pretty tired. I have been working today. So I will end the stream now and basically rest. And if I have the time, I will maybe do a run on stream tomorrow before work, possibly at 12 p.m. Central European time, and then after that run I will get ready for work, and I will be home again after work at latest at around 10 p.m. Central European time, and then I will definitely stream and do a run or two, and then I will be free on Saturday, so I will be streaming basically all day then. So tune in for that. Sunday I will be working until, yeah, I will be busy on Sunday, I realized. Although on Monday I will also be free, so I will be streaming all day on Monday. Thanks for tuning in, thanks for joining me. I hope the game seemed fun and interesting for you, because it sure is for me. I haven't been playing in any party yet. I will be looking forward to playing in parties, because the way it works, you will notice if I start a party play, but it's a very fast-paced turn-based game, which is very interesting to say the least. So it's a, according to me, a kind of a unique take of a roguelike game. Yeah, so I will be looking forward to playing more of it, and I hope you will want to play it as well. Well, until next time, which will be tomorrow, have a good day.